Hi, I'm Radical Coder. This is Umbreon. And real quick, before we dive in, if you want to make sure this little dude stays fed and warm, drop a like, hit subscribe, and let me know in the comments what I got right, what I got wrong, or what you want to argue about. Let's go.
One of the major ways?
Immigration. Absolutely.
Yes, student visas specifically. We allow them to come to our colleges, to stay in our cities, to learn and to grow in our American melting pot culture, and then we send them back home where they can spread that to their family.
Do we actually send
hold
them
on. I really want to kick into this just real quickly because I'm really being bothered by this conversation. I'm going to ask it outright. Out of all this panelists out here, thank you for having me, Sarah. I appreciate it. Thank you. Out of all the panelists here, who have migrated in their life, who have exited their country and have gone to live to another country?
Technically, I have in the military, and I've been in the military, so me.
I haven't killed anyone recently either, but I'm not trying to go out and try that.
Technically, I was a dual citizen.
Okay, so out of all the panelists, only 4 of us have lived and experienced migration outside of our borders.
Yes and no.
Which point?
Yes and no. And out of those 4, I am the only one who throughout his whole life, by the age of 16, I had lived in 6 different countries. United States, Mexico, Argentina, Ecuador, Venezuela, Costa Rica.
Are you claiming some sort of expert status here?
Hold on, Sasquatch. I know you love to bombardier conversations with that bullshit you throw.
I've seen you drivel straight myself, so we're going to have a conversation.
So when you say that we have this 250-year paradigm, I say absolutely, totally, yeah. That's it. That's my time. See you guys.
Look,
my God, 10 minutes. Hold on, you got 10 minutes in the back, Doc, which is actually less time than Ryan, because Chuck sent 20 to send Ryan to the back, but then Godzilla backed it up with another 5, so Ryan had 25 minutes in the back, which is now sitting at 21. And Doc, I'm starting your 10-minute timer now. And Doc, did you notice I gave you your own emoji in the membership tab? No Duck.
Hey, let me put it this way before you kick me. Duck has an emoji in the back for being a libtard. Okay. And so glaze it up, guys. Glaze it up. If you don't like Duck, provide that visual cue that people aren't a fan of my political beliefs and the way I debate. That stuff's all fine. That's awesome.
All right, go play with your duckies. Go play with your duckies.
I like roast duck.
Well, it took under 10 minutes.
I know it didn't take long. I wanted to ask, Ditso, you're speaking from the experience as an immigrant, but do you have experience as a naturalized American citizen?
Of course, I am a naturalized Central American citizen. So in that sense,
again,
the question
like
here,
the United States of America citizen.
It's
an interesting thing that Disto said, right? He said there are a lot of citizens from LATAM that want to come to America. So the question is, and he's like, why did they want to do that? They wanted
criminals who are citizens?
No.
Why not?
You go to jail.
Our criminals are our problems. We're not.
Donald Trump disagrees with you, right? Because he suggested the idea of deporting homegrowns, quote unquote.
I don't know.
I think this is the problem of the whole debate right now, is that we have to look at it in different sections, right? So we're talking about people that are legally or in of a visa.
Is he cutting out everyone else?
Broke over the border.
Hold on. Okay. Is that Vibe talking?
Yes. He's
Vibe.
They got
Vibe.
him.
You froze up.
His job. The immigrants took his job.
He got deported, and that's what happened.
They took his job.
And he got deported.
Okay. Am I back here? Can you guys hear me?
Oh, there you are. And let's give it a minute to sink in. Alexander with the Big 10 says, overstaying your visa is a civil violation, not a criminal one. People who overstayed are not criminal illegal aliens. Which are you all talking about? I don't think we're talking about necessarily. I don't think we're talking about all people who that was a claim that Wick made earlier, is that they were overstaying their visas, and that's why they're here illegally. But I would say people who are overstaying their visa and then tapping into new social security cards in order to keep working, using different names, aliases, so on and so forth. That is illegal. That's fraud.
All right, so I'm about to go to the back, but I wanted to piggyback on this because this is a super important point. And I think we were absolutely conflating this earlier. Like when you guys we were talking about people overstaying their visas and accusing them of being criminal, and they are not. That's not a criminal offense. It is specifically a civil offense, which obviously they can be deported for that, but it's not like they wouldn't be prosecuted for being. And I think conflating
jail,
the two,
which is a problem of sending them to CCOT, right? Where they send a lot of them
exactly.
to CCOT. That again. We would, as I said during the one-on-one discussion we had, Sarah, if we were talking about just put them on a plane, give them a ticket, and send them to their home country, we'd have a different conversation. But that's not what we're talking about. We're in many cases, what they're doing is sending them to a foreign prison where we have trouble getting them back from if we do it wrong, as we saw with our Abrego Garcia, where the government said, well, it's hard for us, we can't just get them back. And that's a problem for me, that we send people to a foreign prison for not being criminals in a civil violation without due process. That's a problem.
Yeah. In addition to that, since I'm about to go to the back, addition to that, like now, after there was a recent Supreme Court ruling where they're now sending people to countries that they're not even from, right? And some of these countries are like active war zones and like really dangerous places. And this is, I mean, I imagine being sent to somewhere where you might get killed like super easily. And you had no due process, and you weren't a criminal. You were just like and people are sitting on a panel. A bunch of Americans are sitting on a panel calling you a criminal, and then you get deported and you get killed. Like, just imagine being in that scenario. It'd be horrifying, right? Okay.
Look, this is
thought about that.
It can just returned. This is simple.
Is what's going to be that sinks the ship. We have a few holes in the ship, and they're trying to fix that by taking a rocket launcher and blowing up the ship and saying, in the middle of the ocean, we're going to blow up our ship, and then we'll fix it. Then we'll put it back together once we've blown it all up. No.
But there's another aspect here that you haven't even mentioned. No one here has touched it. The aggressive enforcement has acted as a deterrent to the flood of legals that were coming across the border. Those are the ones that this is actually
the flood of legal immigrants, and it's deterred.
Okay, sure. I'm not trying to conflate the two like you are. I'm trying to make the point of illegal immigration has plummeted.
So, I mean, I think that's a bad thing, but also, again, like Renner was talking about, this is not normal enforcement, right? This is Trump invoking emergency powers to do
this. This is normal enforcement. Barack Obama did the same damn thing.
Did Barack Obama ever invoke the Alien Enemies Act?
Who did Barack Obama send to CCOT? Who did he send to a foreign prison?
To be fair, CCOT wasn't built yet.
But you understand my point. Who did Obama? Because we're not talking about deportations only. We're talking about sending them to foreign prisons, which is a different thing, and let's not conflate the two.
Well, speaking of foreign prisons, ladies and gentlemen, I'm officially shutting down the tomato side. Don't worry, it's automatically set to raid over to the Gauntlet. If you're already over at the Gauntlet, congratulations. You know how to listen and listen well. The rest of you, 130 of you, let's see, there's 80 smart people over on the Gauntlet side. There's still 130 of you not listening and paying attention to what I'm saying. All right, I'm shutting down Tomato. I'll drop the link back in the chat again. Otherwise, catch the raid over to the Gauntlet. Same show, different channel.
Who gave you authorization for the deportation act there, Sarah?
I am in charge. This is a dictatorship. I get to fucking decide anything.
I love
every
that
once
you're
in a while.
Dictator. I thought you were a
dictator.
Every once in a while, I'll let my chat speak and I will listen. Deportation isn't a puzzle. Oh, I did that already. Kissy Cat with the big 5 says, what about jaywalking across the border?
Okay,
shots fired.
Kissy Cat should jaywalk onto this panel. I would like to talk to her. Okay, she can. We won't deport her, I promise. But you can.
I think we ought to just adopt the policy, shoot them on the spot before they get across. That would put an end to illegal immigration.
All right, promise me you won't mention napalm, Chuck. Just
well, that's a thought.
Why are we cruel? Can I just have Chuck? Is that your name? Why do you want them to suffer?
Parole. It has nothing to do with parole. It's a matter of gaining control of a situation that's out of control.
So there are multiple ways to gain control of situations that are out of control, and I'm arguing tonight that ICE is making it worse. It is spiraling into chaos. And as I think was mentioned by Evan, or it might have been someone else, this is done on purpose to incentivize self-deportations. They are purposely creating cruel and conditions and causing chaos and saying, if you don't do it yourself, we're going to do it for you, and it's not going to be nice. They're being cruel on purpose and by design.
How are they being cruel?
So one of the ways that they are cruel is by deporting them from schools. So a mother who dropped her kid off at school. Did you see the video, right, of that mother who was being detained by 3 ICE agents, crying that she just wanted to see her child? Can you not agree that whether or not you think we should do it anyway, because sometimes we have to be cruel, I understand that, but that is cruel. Can you at least...
I haven't seen actual legitimate reports of ICE raiding schools. Are there some out there?
They were rejected. There was an attempt in
schools.
So it didn't happen. It didn't happen then.
Okay, it did. And I can give you examples. Schools.
Now wait a minute. Churches. We got one liberal saying it did and one communist saying it didn't. So which is it?
Well, here is what is being said. By Ryan in the back, that's 10 from Control. And we got Gully with another 10, that's 20. You need to find some rich fans who can bind you back on. That's what you need. And then another 5, Ryan out. So
we're paragraph before I'm gone for 25 minutes.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll give you that.
Ryan, give up on the chat GPT. Use your own words.
Just because you don't look, okay, Boomer, you don't have to understand chat GPT. It's fine. Like, look, whatever. It's past your time. That's okay. But ICE is they're jailing visa overstayers and asylum seekers indefinitely with no hearings, rushing people onto planes, sometimes to countries they've never even set foot in, under a tweaked Alien Enemies Act. They're yanking TPS from hundreds of thousands without review. They're tearing up student visas for political posts, and they're roping in local cops to profile anyone with an accent. All civil violations are being recast as national security threats, so the administration can skip the courts, skip lawyers, and bulldoze basic due process in real time. Where's the lie? Where's the lie? Tell ChatGPT and everyone else where the lie is. All right, Chuck?
Seriously.
Bye, Boomer.
Was it?
Bye, Boomer.
Was it?
I always tend to forget when I switch channels, so thank you.
Figured it was something like that. No worries.
Well, you know, when you're a dictator, you forget things.
Yeah,
so what's the punishment for breaking and entering? You were talking about punishments for crimes. What's the punishment for breaking and entering into somewhere you're not supposed to be?
Depends on the state. Depends on what.
At my house, it's death.
Yeah, it's depending on your situation there, but in most places, it's
context. You understand that all breaking and entering is treated the same. Correct.
Well, it's kind of the point, right? Like we have to stair step up all the way to ICE. And by the way, Wick, you're my favorite lefty, and I don't even know if you're a lefty because you are very intelligent. I love the way you go, and I want to get up to ICE. But the very first thing
are you more left center?
I'm left of center, yes.
Yeah.
But I'm not.
I really enjoy listening to Wick. Okay, so I'm far right, but I still love you guys.
Or just go do it. I love the verbal fellatio. Continue, please.
I'm slightly right of Attila the Hun. I believe we should all do what I say, but if we're not going to do that, let's work out this voting thing and make it fair.
But I want to build up to the ICE the ICE statements he's making, and we're all over the place, right? We're talking about
you got to put water in the ice tray, and then you got to get it cold.
I just always put you need building blocks.
Golly sent another 20 and says, keep Coder back there. We're going to keep you cold in the back, Ryan. I added the other 20 on. And Evan Lord says, fair enough, Sarah. Let's get a stronger cleanser. Which one do you want, Evan? You want the horse? You want the... because this super chat came through right as soon as I set the goal. So I will apply that 1 extra in there. So you got 9 more to go. Hit the goal. Or we
spend more money to do so.
Put a little pause on the Fifth Amendment. All right, just put a little pause on it, and then we'll be good.
And Ryan, you got an extra 10 in the back, and I love how he was such a good sport about it. He's telling people thank you for supporting the channel, and then additionally another 5 minutes added on. 1, let's see, 2, 3, 4. Oops.
Damn.
I need him at 30.
I thought I was the only one that gave him the boot.
All right. Your TikTok is now up to 34 minutes with time ticking down and time added on.
Am I breaking
So
the
if you're
law?
suspected for something, you do have to show identification.
No, you have
as
to
long as they
yourself, which is different.
No, if they actually suspect you,
who
you
are.
have to.
You don't have to have papers on you. I promise you don't.
No, if you
and stealing from them, okay, that's not my problem. I mean, they have to. Even if I don't have ID on me, the only thing I have to do when they ask my name, I have to identify myself. I have to answer their question. But I don't have to have papers on me. I don't have to have ID on me. I don't have to have my birth certificate on me. The only time I need some form of identification is if I'm operating a motor vehicle or if I'm in some sort of like the airport or something like that. But like in a park or anything like that, I absolutely do not have to have ID.
No, you don't have to have ID. You just have to, if you are going to be detained, they do have the right to get your ID. That's it.
They do. They have the right to identify you if they detain you, but that's a different thing. That's not what you're implying.
Yes.
What you're saying. What I am saying.
I'm not implying that. I never was implying that.
Hold on. What I am saying, and my point that I'm trying to bring about with this, is there are U.S. citizens who look like they're from other countries, but who were born here, who now are afraid to go outside and walk in the park
because they look different.
ICE will mistake them for a legal immigrant, and if they don't have their papers on them, they will.
Okay, how many times has that actually happened? How many times is because I somebody looked like they were from Iran, that they got detained, and they were born in the United States.
Here, I'll give you a video.
Give me the statistics. Don't give me a video.
Okay, we don't have that.
But what I would tell you is that the standard procedure is anybody that doesn't look like the idealized U.S. citizen, white, tall, blonde.
Oh Lord!
Oh God!
Hey, look, I cited in the back chat. 2 U.S. citizen children were sent on the mother's deportation flight to Honduras without the opportunity to speak with attorneys, leaving a 4-year-old boy with stage 4 cancer without access to his medication, according to the National Immigration Project. Gracie Willis, an attorney with the organization. That's just one example of the many that have been happening for the past 6 months.
Wait, they have enough money to go and treat cancer, but they don't have enough money to go and get some basic citizenship?
No, they were U.S. citizens. They were U.S.-born citizens.
U.S.-born by who? What was their parents? Were they?
That doesn't matter. The status of the parents does not matter once a person is born in the United States.
We acknowledge that if you're spending money on
law.
cancer treatment, that's money you can't spend anywhere else, right? Like you need to pay that money in order to survive, and you can't pay it anywhere else.
Look.
They could have other use for that money if they have enough money to.
So they should stop paying for their cancer treatments.
They should have money to go and stay there to be able to go and live their lives without
overpaying for their cancer treatments.
I understand where Vibe is coming from. That we should start from the bottom. That then it creates a whole conversation about the policy, about the paradigm, etc. Great, but right now, ICE is a state-funded terrorist organization.
So Kissy Cat says Umbreon is making the best points on panel. I agree. All dogs that show up on our show, or cats, I'm more partial to dogs, but the dogs always win here.
There's a lad in the UK as well that's been put in prison for a rap about he was rapping in Arabic, I think, or either Arabic or Hebrew. I think it might have been Arabic though, about the Palestinians. He didn't even understand what he was saying, and he was put in. He's been.
So the UK doesn't have the same.
And I don't know about the UK. I can't speak to the UK. I'm sorry, but to talk to you, Evan, when were they deported?
Like from what I've seen, there was a case in 2010 for. I forget his name, but it was
something.
I disagree
with those cases. I think that was wrong. That the American government, if what you're saying is true, and I'm just going to grant you, if this was the reason they were deported, I think that's wrong and that's a shame. We shouldn't do that. We shouldn't repeat our mistakes.
Wait, just to be clear, were they deported because of the rap lyrics, or were they deported because of gang affiliation?
I'd say it was a collection of things like some of the stuff that
kill someone.
did off.
So it's not comparable.
Okay.
Like there's, I will say for like rapping and stuff like that, a lot of rappers like gloat about the stuff they do, and it leads the police to go and say, hey, they have drugs if they're rapping about drugs.
But if we're saying that one person shouldn't be deported for rapping along to a song, and then you bring up, oh well, there was another guy another rapper who got deported because he was rapping a particular song, and because he was affiliated with like 3 gangs in Chicago. It's like that's a way different situation than the one that we're talking about.
I just want to say Ryan finally got back on. Somebody paid.
That's sexy.
This goes down in Gauntlet history because it never works this way. So shout out to Alexander for the first
Thank you, Alex.
Ryan buyback, and also they said looking at construction worker wages in the last 5 years, they have gone up like 27%. I feel like 007 is a lying turkey.
Again, he's talking about the UK. This might be
lying
different in the
turkey?
UK. I don't know.
Well, the immigrants raised it 50%.
I haven't been in the UK for 12 years, so I don't know. I'm talking about 2004, 2005.
I mean,
in
again, I do want to
2004, the
mention
immigrants raised the minimum. The immigrants decreased wages by 50%.
When I went back to construction, I was earning 50% less than I was when I was in there before I had my car accident and went to prison.
You understand that there's
how do we know that was legal
factors
immigration?
that can contribute to your
Yeah, quite possibly. But I also know that the construction sites were full and are full now. Like all of the subcontractors. For my friend works in construction. She's an RLO, regional liaison officer, who liaises between the contractors, the subcontractors, and the clients. And every single they're all immigrants. She said they are the only English people. The only English people are the bosses.
Wait, hold on. Are they all immigrants or are they all brown?
No, they're all immigrants. They're Romanian.
How do you know that they're immigrants?
They're Romanians.
Did you check their papers?
I can attest to what Double O's talking about.
You mentioned earlier, like, oh, why do high school dropouts, wages deserve to be dropped anyway? And like, even if I take your argument at face value that construction wages dropped 50%, which I just don't think is true, and I don't think it's because of immigration. I mean, like, when the price of an input falls, production increases, right? Businesses can make more.
I can attest to what 007.
Hold on, construction is an input to everything, right? So if construction wages go down, that means construction companies can construct more things, and that means businesses can expand easier. There's a good paper from 2020 in Minneapolis that finds it was looking at immigrants came over.
Why don't they just reduce everybody's wages so they can bring the cost of everything down?
Well, that's not true. But again, this paper from Minneapolis in 2020 found that they were looking at immigrants who came over who don't have a high school degree, and they found these immigrants do take more from welfare. Oh, God damn it, Coder, rip.
Okay, so I apologize. I was going to wait. Yeah. I was just going to let that sit there non-fawn, but since you did stop, thank you. I appreciate it. They already were shooting the shots, and it wasn't enough yet to match the 50 that came up. But the full 100 here at the Gauntlet.
Like one sentence.
And yeah, I will. Let me bear with me a second. So Gully gave a full 100, which here is a full boot. However, we can give it a few minutes. I'll after you say your thing, we'll give it a few minutes, and somebody can buy it back. Okay, they can match the boot. It does have to be a full 100, but they can match it and buy you back up. But outside of that, that does mean you are done for the evening. So.
Yeah.
Presuming nobody's going to do that, Ryan, I will give you the floor to say your goodbyes.
It's been a pleasure.
Oh, yeah, played it, dog. Played it for your week.
That's a gorgeous dog, man.
Wait,
what?
You're back in the game.
Oh, shit.
You're universally hated. Congratulations, Coder, bro.
Wow, that's
Shut up.
another
Oh, wow.
second. I
Oh,
thought you
did
were
it,
a
bro.
Connor for
Me
sure,
too. I thought it was
Ryan.
over.
I
The
really
dog.
thought. I
Sarah
really
owes you a
thought.
soy latte now. So owes you a
Well,
soy latte now.
the thing I was going to say, I didn't even realize Evan wasn't still up here, but I was going to call him out for calling Mamdani a radical Islamist. I thought that was a insanely racist and
Well, he is a communist. I mean,
I don't think he's a communist. I don't think he's a radical Islamist. I think it's insane to say. And well, we got
Is that
you didn't
so
see the
I am
dance they
once
were
again
doing?
excited,
Oh
but-
my god!
Again, here's Umbreon. Look, if you guys look, obviously people have very strong feelings about me either way, positive or negative. People have donated a lot of money to see me go back and forth tonight. So if you want to check out me and Umbreon more, you can go to my channel, Radical Coder, like and subscribe. Make sure you support Sarah at the Gauntlet and on the Raging Tomato. Much love to her and most of the people on the panel. Thank you all.
Most of
All right, hang.
Most
I'll
of
give
the
it.
people,
I'll give it a couple minutes, Ryan, backstage. If anybody chooses to revive, they've got a few minutes to do so. If not, we'll say goodbye. Okay. Wow, that's crazy, Alexander. You threw me off there
$300.
on that one. You threw me off there. Hardcore. I've never seen Ryan get bought back up, and I especially haven't seen him get bought back up after a full. Before you answer anybody, Ryan, you not only are bought back, sir, but you got an extra layer of
$500.
Damn!
Holy!
That's insane. Rin, what are you doing, buddy? You're
Coder,
my
I think
whale.
you should get a word.
Okay?
You need to
I'm
deliver a
little jealous
speech.
tonight, but that's okay.
What does Alexander like about Coder?
We like you, Rin. No, support.
Well,
Great.
earlier, Alexander said it wasn't about. Hold on, and I missed it because it was a thing here. He said because we hit the boots, but he said couldn't care less about Ryan just ruining JB Peltier's night. Also, 2004, and that question was to you, Mr. Bond. At least that's what the chat is calling you, 007. And then I stupidly said, "Who's Mr. Bond?" Not thinking of the 007.
It's double. Oh.
I think this is just good advice, or it's a good demonstration of how being a grounded, polarizing figure can be very beneficial. You know, I encourage people to speak their truth in spite of the haters and losers who want to silence you. Just stay strong and like hold your ground, because you know it always comes back around. You know, and I appreciate everyone who's supporting the channel both ways.
Thank you, Ryan. I do appreciate it. I know you obviously are benefiting in other ways, but you being here all the time always helps me out. You are a very strong support network of the show. And Evan Lord says, and Nanfan, I know I interrupted you a minute ago, so I will allow you to finish your thought bubble, and then we'll put you to the back. Kicking out Nanfan because he thinks humans are purely economic units. Globalists and metropolitans are evil for their host countries. Go ahead, Nanfan, spit it out, and then you get 5 in the back.
Yeah, I love globalism. Globalism is the best thing ever. We should have open borders and free trade with every country ever. But real quick, okay, last thing, finishing my thing. Okay, there's a good study, 2020, Minneapolis, looking at immigrants who came over without a high school degree. They find that although they did have negative, or they took more from benefits and taxes on directly, when you account for the indirect effects they have, because as I mentioned earlier, you know, if they reduce construction wages, let's say, just accept that argument. Construction is an input for everything. Businesses can build more things, and that added activity actually it makes them net fiscal contributors. So accounting for the indirect effects, they actually contribute I think it's like $700 annually to the government.
Link the study.
Oh yeah.
Fair enough. All right, Nanfan, 5 minutes in the back for you, sir.
Can I say 2 things real quick?
Yeah, of course.
So the first thing is that I think it's funny that conservatives will make an economic argument against immigration, and then whenever somebody gives an economic argument back, they just call them a globalist and say that like people aren't money. Don't make economic arguments about immigration if you don't want them refuted. And then the second part is that to respond to the one dude who said, "Why does it seem like all liberals just want to criticize people enforcing the law. The problem is that the person who is enforcing the law is also breaking the laws in order to enforce the laws. The invocation of the Alien Enemies Act was probably illegal. The way that he was going through it was absolutely illegal. There's like a myriad amount of like injunctions that are being put on the president and pauses that are being put on the president. So that's why.
Has the courts ruled on that yet? For you to say it's illegal?
Yep. JGG versus Trump and WMM versus Trump. Go read.
Have they been settled already?
Yep. Supreme Court rulings.
Thank you, Rin.
Said he couldn't use that?
Huh?
Oh, sorry. Just
the Supreme Court said he couldn't invoke that act?
No, it wasn't criticizing the invocation. It was criticizing the deportations using the Alien Enemies Act because they were robbing people of their due process rights.
Well, just the other, was it 2 days ago, yesterday? Whatever it was, Supreme Court just said he could go back to quick deportations.
That was a separate case. That was about third country deportations. That had nothing to do with the Alien Enemies Act.
But it is also a disturbing precedent.
Okay, I think I'm going to the back.
And no, you're not. Or did another one come in? Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm confused.
So a duck, duck, goose, add to non-fon's time. Non-fon, I already added it in. You got 10 more minutes back there. And then Rinald, you got 5 in the back, sir. Enjoy it. Keep non-fon company.
And I can attest to 007, what he was talking about. Back in 2010, the last time I hired an outside contractor where I worked, the same crew I hired every couple of years whenever we had big jobs. In 2010, their quote-unquote unskilled labor, which was your cleanup or to carry pieces here and there and drop them off, was all non-English speaking individuals. And I talked to the boss of the crew and asked what was going on. He said, we picked these guys up for half of what we had to pay our regulars.
Yeah,
I'm going to make you into some Panda Express if you don't shut up.
I tell my dogs that too. I'm like, I'm going to Panda Express your ass. Chinese food, what?
Yep,
I'm gonna, gentlemen,
Well,
I'm just gonna,
microaggression, but
I'm gonna step away for just a moment. I am being paged upstairs to my daughter. I imagine you can all
Sasquatch has got it.
manage this. Yeah, Sasquatch is in charge. I'm sure you'll be fine. If there's boots or anything, just if you get booted, just shut up for a couple minutes. I'll be right back.
yeah. So, is there anyone up here who
I just want to make something clear right quick. I have unlimited power, and I'm not afraid to use it. So go ahead.
Yeah. So, is there anyone up here who still thinks that undocumented immigrants do not have the right to due process?
I don't actually think anyone's made that statement tonight.
Yeah, we
I'm just-
won
I
that
did.
battle.
I did.
We won that battle.
Chuck, I'm sorry, Chuck. My bad. Chuck's talking napalm and bullets. I mean,
Garcia
they broke due process when they crossed the border illegally. Therefore, they
That's
get
not-
no
hold
due
on.
process.
Let me ask you, Chuck.
Go ahead, wait.
Do criminals, people who rape, murder, and steal, do they deserve due process?
American citizens,
Anyone,
American
Anyone under US
citizens.
jurisdiction?
everyone. Due process.
If they're not,
Hold on,
not a
let me-
citizen,
Let me start at the basics. What is due process?
the right to have the charges brought against you. You walk through the steps, through
Okay.
initial charges and court process and all that.
So
Right to an
Right?
attorney.
put simply, is the idea at its basic level is that you will be notified of the charges against you, right? The government will tell you why they are doing the thing to you, and you
Right.
have a chance to answer those charges and to say, no, actually, I did not do X. I am not X, or there are extenuating circumstances that should clear up my X. What that looks like depends on the circumstances. So due process for an illegal immigrant is different than for a citizen, and it's different from if you are sued in a civil court versus if you are brought to a criminal court. When we talk about these things, when it comes to due process for illegal immigrants, I think that they have less when we send them to their home country and just release them than they should if we send them to a foreign prison, which is what the Trump admin has done in many cases. That's my problem here, is that we are sending people to prison.
Are we sending border crossers, or are we sending convicted criminals to another prison?
Convicted criminals.
The problem is there's no process to determine which one, Chuck. That's the problem.
They sent that lad that had the hairdresser lad that had the two crowns, a crown on his wrist.
No trial.
One was mum and his dad, and he got sent off to Venezuela or wherever it was. He got shot. He didn't even come. Yeah, he'd left there because he was gay and he was seeking asylum because he was being persecuted because of his sexual preference. I mean, that when I heard about that was, I think that sucks, man. There's some people getting. It sounds like there's too many people getting caught up in the net that maybe shouldn't be in the net. All right.
And if the administration would just kind of take their time a little bit more and follow the legal processes that were in place and stop trying to bend and break them, then we wouldn't have to deal with stuff like that.
True. That's just true. This is my problem. Like, look, the government, when they make a mistake, well, let me just ask you guys, if the government gets it wrong, should they have to make that right? If the government makes a mistake, should the government be responsible for fixing that mistake? Just as a basic level.
One would think so.
Yes, that would be the ideal, right? So when the government makes a mistake and sends someone to a foreign prison without due process, I am advocating that they should have to make restitution by bringing them back and giving them whatever process, whatever sentence we want to give them or whatever charge we're charging them with is due, and then act accordingly. Like Abrego Garcia, they brought him back because
he's on his way out.
Hold on, let me finish. The Supreme Court acknowledged what the government did was wrong. They violated his rights. And so they brought him back and they are hosting a trial. If he's found guilty in that trial, by all means, put him away, send him away. I don't care. But the important thing is that he has the chance to have a trial because, again, they're not just deporting him to another country.
Are you talking about
prison?
What he's in Tennessee jail for right now?
I don't know what jail he's in right now.
He's in Tennessee, but I was just reading an article yesterday, that as soon as if he makes bond or gets released on bail, that ICE is going to pick him up and promptly deport him.
And they can do that as long as it's not to El Salvador.
Right. I don't think it'd be El Salvador. I think it's Sudan.
El Salvador.
I think he's going to Sudan or Zimbabwe or one of those countries.
I want to add something real quick to that. I think it's really important to note that with the Abrego stuff, like Trump was very clear that for months that he could have brought him back and was deciding not to, and it's only because of the courts and extreme heavy political pressure from the left and liberals who were saying, hey, this is fucked up, this is unconstitutional, this is bad, and were very loud and critical, and MAGA was just lying and standing Trump for as he did this illegal act over and over and defending it. And so I think it's really important to acknowledge it.
I think you're taking a lot of credit
Trump didn't just, hang on, I'm almost done, I promise. Trump didn't just decide like, oh, I'm going to follow the law. He was actively trying not to follow the law, and it was because of political pressure from people like us and the courts,
had ended for about
supporting the courts like us.
Situation. The pressure had ended. The left kind of gave up on that story for about 2 or 3 weeks. What happened was we found out more information about his crimes and everything, and therefore we wanted to basically troll that information and say, this is the guy you wanted back. Look at all the other stuff that we've got him down for and everything. Here, you really want to have a court?
Yes, I would give a court trial to the devil himself because that protects my rights, protecting the shield that keeps me.
He had 2 trials, Wick. 2 trials that said
not before he was deported.
Yeah, wait, hold on.
Hold on. The result of that trial was to be given an order, a withholding order, so that he wasn't deported to El Salvador. Had they deported him to Venezuela or another country, we would be having a different conversation. But that's not what they did.
It would still require a hearing, though.
The government admitted they messed up. They made a mistake. It was a clerical error. and they did it by mistake, violating the due process that he originally received in those first 2 trials.
Yep.
The government admits that.
No, he should not have been in the country.
It's the 14th Amendment. They have due process anyway.
Check out your Supreme Court information on that. But anyway,
I can cite you the
They
literal
agree.
case that they ruled on.
Yeah, we're talking about
Garcia.
Abrego
They
Garcia.
ruled it was illegal.
Explicitly. And they even said that like the justification that Donald Trump's administration used to deport Kilmar could be used to deport anyone, even U.S. citizens, without due process. This is explicitly written in the 9-0 Supreme Court ruling regarding Kilmar.
You're cherry picking a piece of the dissenting opinion.
No, that was
No,
in the
9-0. It was 9-0. There is no dissenting opinion, dude.
ghost that dissented.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
I'm 100% sure. Yes.
So
Hold on. There's been several rulings on this. There were dissenting opinions in some of them, but the one he's referencing, there was not.
Okay, thank you.
Can I ask a question? It's going to be kind of a lengthy one, so I need people to go on a journey.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Yeah, hold on. We're gonna do this right. If it's a lengthy one,
It's not that lengthy, but it's like relatively okay. So there's these guys, right? And they are from where? Oh my God. Okay. There are these people. I think it was Venezuela. They were from Venezuela, right? They were illegal immigrants, but they were not able to be expeditedly deported, right? So Donald Trump has the idea to sign the Alien Enemies Act, right? To basically expedite their removal. Before he signs this proclamation, these people are being rounded up and they're being put on planes, and they're trying to be shipped out of the country as fast as possible without the ability to appeal to any outside body, like a lawyer, like anybody else. This is, by the way, they're detained before the proclamation of the Alien Enemies Act even becomes public, okay? So they're not given the ability to reach out to a lawyer. The only reason that this person named JGG was able to reach out to a lawyer was because his plane broke down and they couldn't get him out of the country quick enough. So this demonstrates that the Trump administration not only wanted to get these people out as fast as possible, but they also wanted to mitigate their ability to challenge any of the claims that the government was just unilaterally making against these people. Do you think that's appropriate? Thank you.
Before anybody answers that, somebody asked in chat, are those shoulder pads?
It's a new shirt, okay? I haven't tried it on. They're a little big. The shirt's really small. I don't know what this fit is, but
I'm sorry. I've been thinking about who was the reporter for the Ninja Turtles, April O'Neil. I've been thinking all night.
Listen, $10
not digging at you. I'm just saying.
Brynjald JB Peltier didn't like the fact that you came out with a full mouth and yapping.
I wasn't expected to be put up on the giant screen, okay?
But you were talking with your mouth full, sir. So you have 5 minutes in the back. Non-fun only has a minute left, so we'll trade you out here in just a second. All right.
Before you drop me down,
yeah.
Please, conservatives, please answer that question. Please. Okay.
They will. Absolutely.
what's the question?
Do they remember the question?
No, I wasn't listening. I was talking.
Okay, well, hold on.
Okay,
I
Ask
don't know
it.
what it was either.
Oh, hold on.
I'm
This
not-
is my
I'm not
larger
sure
problem.
that is.
This is my larger problem.
They had a
with these
presumption on it
conversations.
also.
And this is the asymmetry of it. Had I not answered one of Sarah's questions or one of the audience questions or even one of your questions, you would have lambasted me. Look, he's dodging. Look, he's not even paying attention. But you guys can just ignore all the points we're making. And
He presupposed something in his question, so why should we
the
acknowledge the
asymmetry
presupposition?
is what bothers me. The hypocrisy is what bothers me. But go on.
Why should we acknowledge his presupposition that he had in his question?
What did he presuppose? Be more specific.
I forget all the question and everything, but at the end or whatever, he made a claim or whatever that could not be backed up with just a basic claim.
What was the claim?
I don't remember every single word.
Know,
or whatever.
how
I
do you know
remember.
it can't be backed
I
up?
remember.
You don't know what the claim is. How
Bring
do
him
you
back
know
up
it
if you want
can't be
to.
backed up?
Do you want me to recap it for you?
Give the claim, Renyold. What
Wait,
was the claim?
what was the presupposition?
Go ask
doesn't know.
your question.
Okay.
But
So
given
there's
this,
this
then
group of Venezuelans, all right, and they're being rounded up before the proclamation of the Alien Enemies Act has even been signed by Donald Trump. They're being put on the plane to be deported as quickly as possible without giving them the opportunity to appeal to a lawyer. The only reason that they were able to appeal to a lawyer is because the plane broke down.
Keep
Is
going.
that appropriate?
No, yes. You said something else after that.
I sure shit didn't.
Yes,
I
good.
don't know what question you listened to, but it wasn't mine.
You had something.
Well, answer this question then,
said,
Bill.
Trump. What was it? What did he say? 007?
Trump had signed. He was just about to, or hadn't yet signed, but was going to sign the aliens.
No, it
thing,
hadn't been made
right?
public. They signed it.
It hadn't been made public, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yet, and they.
Well, I don't know. We don't know if he signed it, but it's sure it wasn't a public proclamation.
True.
So the Alien Enemies Act shouldn't have been in place. But he was rounding people up to deport them as quickly as possible anyway.
Right, and the only reason that they weren't shipped off was because their car broke down or something. They didn't
the plane
get to
that was going to ship them off to El Salvador broke down.
Right, so that gave them a little bit of recourse, gave them a little bit of time, obviously, to say, "Hey, what the fuck's going on here?" Right? I'll answer it personally. I'm not conservative. I'm not a political person. I'm an anarchist. I don't agree with government, but I don't agree with that either. You know, there's got to be there has to be a fucking happy medium. But we're dealing with
legal or otherwise. Did everybody get what they needed from Rinald?
Yeah, I think
I didn't get an answer to the question, but
well, they're going to continue marching through it. But I think we got the position from you. So yeah.
Bill, do you have like a caretaker or someone who can help you with the question?
Are you ageist? Are you afraid of my age?
Yes, I am.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I am.
I'm sorry. I guess you're not only
boomer.
Just you're a sexist.
I'm catching strays. I'm old too, Radical. You know that, right? I'm an old guy.
Hey,
you're not that old.
Not that far either. Okay. I'm already
strays. Friendly fire, blue on blue. Okay.
Look, it is what
I'm
it is.
already looking at retirement. You know what I mean?
What is it? What's the word? Geriocracy? It must be dismantled. Okay.
It's okay. My average audience is between like 35 and 45. So we're all okay here. We're in a safety zone. We're surrounded by our peers. It's good. We'll be all right, Wick. We'll be all right. All right. Did anybody answer Rinald's question?
There's too many holes in his questions to be answered.
Name one, Chuck.
The first hole he made was he wasn't sure if it was signed or not signed. It was the first statement he made.
He said
about the proclamation.
He specifically said it wasn't public yet.
Right, yeah, that was me.
Didn't he change it?
Chuck, that was me that said that. I said I didn't know if it was signed or not signed. I couldn't remember.
I think we got to shut down all boomers coming into the panel until we figure out what the hell's going on. Okay, this is unacceptable.
No boomers here. I'm not sure if you know your generation.
Where did the plane break down at?
Why is that relevant?
Is this the same group that's sitting over in Africa at the moment?
No, the plane broke down like in America. Like these were people who were going to be deported.
Because there's another group that's sitting in Africa on their way to Sudan
Let's back on target. Okay, back on target. So in the incident he outlined, what are the holes? You said there were holes. Name one.
Okay, the first one was he said he wasn't sure if the proclamation was in effect or not.
He it wasn't made public, so these immigrants they had no how he's supposed to make a habeas claim or whatever if there's no public proclamation of what you're even being deported under.
If he signed it, it is therefore law.
Chuck, it wasn't public. How did that?
It doesn't have to be published.
Yes, it does. What does a signed executive order do if it's not public? If no one knows that it's law?
They put it on the Federal Registry. That's where you find those things.
You think that the government it's okay to have secret laws that no one knows about?
No, I'm not talking about secret laws.
They hadn't put it on the register.
But he wasn't. He didn't seem real sure in his story in the question.
So that's
because the first time out of the gate, he was bubbling words all over the place and couldn't even think about who or what it was.
I was trying to remember if they were Venezuelan.
Very well spoken.
What's that?
I don't know who Rinald is, but this is my first time meeting you, sir.
But I don't know who he is either.
Yeah, he did not mince his words. He was quite upfront with what he meant, and he made his point clearly. If you think his point has holes in it, I'm willing to hear you, but you got to give me something other than he may have not known about the public order signing, which isn't relevant to what he's trying to get through.
Yeah, I feel like the question was painfully clear, and the only answer that I've gotten to it is like some vague posturing that I made a presupposition that they can't identify. So, I mean, I don't know. That seems like the kryptonite question.
Well, it just you didn't seem to have any facts.
I my mind.
These people at this place.
I'm now for intelligent tests before people vote. I want that.
Okay,
I think that we need it. You have to have at least 80 IQ, okay, or else you can't vote.
115.
Damn it!
Wouldn't go that
I'm
far.
out.
Okay. Well,
Sorry,
women.
Sarah.
Hashtag 115 or higher.
Women have a different. We're not judging you on your IQ, Sarah. We don't want to play chess with you after. We're going here, and we have standards, and I think one of the standards should.
I think there should be a height requirement too.
Fuck!
Damn.
6 foot 1 or taller. 6'1" or taller to vote.
Oh, I'm definitely out. I'm a whole foot shy of that one.
So I just want to real quick kind of build on the whole thing about the plane.
Do you got the actual information, Ryan?
Sort of. Well, I'm referencing the opinion that I cited earlier regarding the Supreme Court, right? The 901. I just wanted to read this line because this is really relevant to the idea of the plane breaking down, right? So this was with regards to Kilmar. The government's argument, moreover, implies that it could deport and incarcerate any person, including U.S. citizens. That's most of the people up here, right? Without legal consequence, so long as it does so before a court can intervene, which is why the plane breaking down is what would protect those people in that case, which is, I mean, this is a pretty important thing to contend with, right? Like if we have a precedent where U.S. citizens can be deported as long as they do it quickly, this is incredibly dangerous, especially for people like us who are speaking out against the regime.
Also, just to be clear, the judge in this case ruled that there was probable cause for contempt because of the actions of the Trump administration.
And Stephen Miller was the one who pushed for them to do what they're doing right now.
Mm-hmm. No, I will agree with you there. I think he's doing a lot of the pushing.
I think
Stephen Miller.
When we talk about
the deep state, get Stephen Miller out.
We got to talk about Stephen Miller.
I'm not a huge fan of Stephen Miller.
Neither is Trump, and neither am I.
Well, I mean,
he's got his hand on the wheel. You know, he's
wait a minute
right now.
Because Trump, look, let's be real here. Trump's pretty old. Okay, he's not all there, and he has a handler, and his name is Stephen Miller. Who's really running the country? Republicans.
Damn right.
Who's really running the country? Is it Trump or
is it for the past 4 years? Who was?
So I don't bog up the whole panel with that question. Just in case anybody in the chat is curious, look up JGG versus Trump Boasberg contempt ruling. It'll come right up. There's 48 pages detailing all of the information about
Did
this
you
case.
say JGG?
JGG versus Trump
contempt
ruling.
Yeah, I'll look that up here when I get off of.
Well, for you, I linked it in private chat. So you can.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, yeah, please.
Appreciate it.
I'll drop it in the Gauntlet chat as well.
You just didn't seem real sure as you was asking the question, so it almost sounded like you were making the story up for the question.
Do you really think I would just make up a random ass story to?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
All right. A lot of people, I don't care which side of the political spectrum they're on, a lot of people got a bad habit of doing that. Well, I heard Martha say...
Convenient.
Well, luckily he cited the source, so we don't have to worry about that here.
Yeah, we could...
Thank you. And I thanked him for it.
All right, well, we can move on from the kryptonite question, but I feel like we've acknowledged that Trump was actually robbing these people of the right to a hearing based on whether or not they were deportable. It seems like pretty bad policy to me, especially when you get shot down in SCOTUS twice for it, and it's ruled that you have probable cause for contempt of court. Seems pretty bad, but I mean that's just me.
It's very concerning. Does anyone think it's not concerning?
I want to. Can I just say I haven't seen many of these, right? I haven't seen many of these Thursday throwdowns. So perhaps I'm just ignorant of this, but man, we just cleaned up, liberals. I mean, we just cleaned up. They can't answer basic questions. We have swayed the audience. We have swayed many on the panel. I think we have done just a fantastic job, and in no small part thanks to me. Honestly,
The audience
I'm
ran out of,
Really-
the audience ran out of money trying to get rid of
Thank you for your
coders,
service, sir.
FYI. So
True. Wick really carried the liberals on his back for this debate.
You know what? It's okay. I do do what it needs doing. It's okay. Not all heroes wear capes. Some wear hoodies. Okay. Some wear hoodies.
They're hiding.
On that
Where's Andrew or
note,
Jimbo?
Sarah, I'm going to say goodbye.
Andrew
Thank
Wilson
you very much for
is
having me.
still- Sure.
It's been
Andrew
a pleasure.
Wilson. Andrew Wilson is still hiding because he knows. He challenged me. He said he would pay me $20,000 to go 3 rounds with him in a boxing ring, and he asked me for a date. I gave him a date, June 28th, and he has been conspicuously silent
tomorrow
since then. It's not tomorrow. Well, it is technically.
Well, it is for me. I'm in
Kind of,
Florida,
technically, yeah.
Technically, I guess it is if you're on East Coast. And he hasn't said shit, right? He hasn't said yes, no, maybe I need to push it back a little bit, discuss the venue. Nothing. Where are Andrew and Jim Bob? They're hiding because they're scared. That's where they are.
Cowards.
It's a shame that immigration was the #1 issue for a lot of Republicans, and none of them are willing to come up and defend the agenda. That's kind of concerning. I don't know. The death of truth may be upon us.
We're the Gen Z men who were swayed towards the Trump administration. We've got the geriatrics up here defending the regime.
Hey.
Even they're accepting. Even they're accepting that there's a lot of problems here. So I don't know. It seems like Wick said, a liberal win, and even from the left of liberals, I appreciate these W's just as well. So,
and I even did it with my mouth full too. How about that?
Pause.
Of goldfish.
I was going to say, what was his name?
So much in the gutter tonight. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Any Andrew fans out there, if you want him here, you got to go get him. I do not bother that man.
I have about 30 minutes left before I have to go, so
Train for your fight.
Man, no. If he wants to pay me $20,000, we can fight tomorrow, right? I'd be okay with it, right? But I would like some time to train, like a little bit.
Hell, just give me the money. I'll lay it out on the mat.
I mean, yeah, that would be the easy way, right? Like take
there you
20
go.
grand just for you to take a swing. Oh, damn, I lost. Oh, what a fucking pity.
Oh no, I guess I'll have to cry my eyes out with my $20,000.
As I'm walking to the bank.
True.
Think of all the dental work we can get for 20 grand.
So is it stick or which? I can't hardly see it. Small on the screen.
You got to drink less, buddy. It's Wick TV.
Wick. I don't drink, buddy.
Good.
On the phone, it's just super small. So what do you suggest the solution is?
Well, first of all, I think that what ICE should focus on instead of nail salons and Home Depot is actual violent criminals. So again, put ICE back to work. I'm not saying for abolish ICE here, right? Like some of the lefties might. I'm saying put them back to work getting actual criminals, actual violent gang members off of our streets. That's what I want, right? That's my first and foremost advocacy here. Then we need to look at some laws about how they can do things. I would be okay with a law in the books, much like Trump is trying to do with protesters not being able to mask up, unless there are extenuating circumstances, which I can imagine if you're like undercover or something, and going after like violent gang members or cartels. But in the normal course of events, you should not be able to disguise your identity. You should not be able to mask up. You should be required to wear a uniform. You should be required to show a badge, and you should be required to have some sort of identification number that can be referenced. So if you break the law in the process of doing your duty, that you could be held accountable.
Also, just the foundational.
Are these not reasonable? Are these not just reasonable things? These seems eminently reasonable. Right and left can agree on these things. Assuredly.
I feel like even on
only Mr. Bill.
What if showing your face endangers your children? What if showing your face endangers your children and your wife?
That's part of the job.
What?
As part of the job, we accept, as I was saying, Sara,
job-
in the beginning,
your
the
own
reason
safety
why
is part of the
military
job.
members
Your
have
wife's,
to wear uniforms,
your
even though it
children's
puts them in danger,
not
and the
part of the
reason
job.
cops have to show a badge number because it puts, even though it puts them in danger, is because we give them an inordinate amount of power. And people with that
They can
amount
go
of
after,
power
and they can call
need
IA
to be held
get the
accountable
police
by
guy
the
arrested,
public.
not so that they can squat. They can have somebody go to their person's house. What's the word I'm trying to go after? Swatting. Trying to swat them and have police go after them at their house. That continually happens in Portland. That has happened multiple times in Portland.
I'm asking for a badge number.
ICE agents.
Are you arguing for a secret police? Is that the
No.
solution?
Yes,
here?
that's what he's arguing for, a secret
No,
police.
no.
It
If
seems like
they
you
want
are.
the number, what the ICE people usually do is say, we're taking him to this place, come and find out about him at that place. And at that place where it's a lot safer to be able to communicate between people, then they can sort of get the information that they need. Not when they're surrounded by 30 people that are yelling and screaming at them. How is
Should
that a
police-
safe thing to do?
Should police be required to show their face? Police officers?
No, not even show their face. Have a badge. Should police require, if the police come to your house, knocking your door, should they be required to show a badge?
Okay, let's try to meet halfway here.
No. Just answer that question.
I'll give you this. Well, as long as that number does not associate to their house.
Okay, ICE doesn't have to do that, even if it doesn't associate to their house. I'm not.
And if there's no way that anybody can possibly find their house.
Hold on. If we disconnect that from their house, would you be okay with a law that said ICE should be required to show a badge to identify themselves? So a badge with their identification
where
number.
they work or something like that.
If they break the law in the course of their duties, the people who the law was broken, right, can report them to the relevant authorities.
Yeah, they can show where they work as their station job at that point.
But
not where they live.
They are a specific officer.
Yeah, we're talking about police or ICE.
Both.
Okay. Yes, same situation.
Yes. Okay, great. That is one thing that we can bipartisanly agree on needs to change because it's not the case now.
But it is the case now in many cities where that number associates to their house. There's ways people can find a way around and
fix
their house.
Fix that. That's a skill issue.
And call out the radical left that continues to do that. Yeah, I have not seen you call them out hardly at all.
You've never seen me call out the radical left for violence.
You don't watch Wick then.
Not to this degree.
As the radical left representative, he calls us out all the time, okay?
People you guys think I get called a conservative constantly.
Center left or whatever, but
did you not see me? I was the first person.
You should not do that.
Hold on. Let me give my bona fides here. Bona fides, if you will. I was the first person, literally the number one guy, to call out Destiny after he made that gross comment about the fireman who was shot after the Trump rally. I was the first one to hold his feet to the fire on that, to have him on my show and say to his face, right, that was unacceptable. I have called out the left. I've called out Josiah from Polarizing Politics. I've called out Econoboy for wanting to get rid of the filibuster and violate all these norms and things like that. To act as if I don't hold the left accountable just shows that you are ignorant of my content, which is fine. Not everyone has to watch me, but let's deal with reality here. And I'm just informing you all. When Biden was in power, I criticized him all the time. I think Trump is worse than Biden. And Trump is in power. Biden is no longer in power. So I'm going to criticize Trump more now.
I think that's honest. I think that's honest. Kokomo with the Big Ten says the right position is somewhere in between Trump and Biden/Obama. Trump is too strict, Biden was too loose, and Obama had a good pathway to citizenship.
I don't agree, but I think it's a reasonable position to hold.
I disagree. I don't think Obama did.
Yeah, we know you want to shoot him, so we know you disagree.
And Alexander, Ryan's new friend this evening, sends the big five, says, Mr. Bell, how the stupid do you know it's actually ICE and not some people posing as them to kidnap you?
I just got through saying, as long as they have a number they can give that does not endanger their children or something like that, then yeah, they can sort of give that number.
I think what we're saying is they're not giving that number though, and I think part of the reason is, and I mean to be honest, part of the reason is that they understand that a lot of what they're doing right now is illegal, and they don't want to face the consequences later on. That's what they're afraid of.
Where's it illegal?
The illegal kidnapping of people they're doing right now. They're without presenting any sort of ID. I mean, it's.
What's the federal law?
There are going to be consequences for this. Like,
what's the federal law for ICE agents? I don't know what the federal law is on ICE.
You think they don't have to show ID?
And do you know what the law is? It's impersonating a federal officer, very steep. So if they're out there doing that, take a picture of them. They can go after and say, "Hey, this person might be impersonating an officer." FBI or ICE? Could you look into
what has happened?
Some guy with a black mask on. How do you identify the person?
Has been happening.
Okay, we have videos, right, of people photographing ICE agents, and those ICE agents pulling a gun on those individuals and detaining those, wrestling to the ground and handcuffing them. Right? ICE does not want to
resist arrest. What are you supposed to do when you resist arrest?
No, for trying to film them,
not for trying to film them.
Yeah. Because they don't want to be on film because they know there's going to be consequences.
Because maybe their buddies have been swatted before by similar people.
They know there's going to be legal consequences.
So you aim a gun at them for trying to take a picture of you, and that's your solution? Taking a picture of them is your solution to like the fake secret police people?
Put words in my mouth. Quiet.
What did I mischaracterize?
Well, let me just ask. Let me just ask a basic question for you.
Did I say that? No, I didn't say that.
Okay. Mr. Bill, please, a very basic question for you, sir. Do you think it is reasonable to expect that police, military, and other agents of law enforcement, ICE, be held to a different standard, right, than the general public? Held more accountable because they have more power. Do you think that's a reasonable thing to ask?
Yeah.
Okay. So how do we hold them accountable if we can't identify who they are?
I just said you can identify them by that number as long as they're associated. Give you that. I don't think they should have to, but if you really want to compromise the thing, that's the compromise I'll give you. Have a number. Say my number, ICE number is such and such. Say that's where the person's based. Go to that.
Well,
questions about it? Go to that base.
Then we're in agreement on that. Thank goodness, and I appreciate you for agreeing me on that. But this is just the tip of an iceberg of problems that ICE is doing right now that is making it harder. It's making it more dangerous for ICE agents. You understand that, right? Because people don't know if they're actually law enforcement agents. People are more likely to do violence towards them because they think they're kidnapping people.
When they have an ICE badge and they have a suit that says police or ICE
showing badges,
or CBP all around them.
Have that.
When they've got
unmarked vehicles, not showing badges. This is the whole
plainclothes officers.
When
they are not wearing badges. They are not wearing uniforms. They're in like. Have you seen these? Like they're in masks and they look like with like what looks to be like different tactical gear, but this is the same stuff you'd see going to paintball, like, or you'd see a gang member wear sometimes.
Or Charlottesville.
And that's a problem.
Right. Let's try another compromise. Let's try another compromise here.
Hold on. If I see 3 dudes in black masks harassing a woman on the street, and I have a gun, what's going to happen? If I don't know they're law enforcement, if I don't know them from Adam, what's going to happen?
I go back to the question I was about to ask there before. If they come out there with a driver's license,
Chuck, you want to deal with if you saw 3 masked men who you don't know from Adam, who have no identifying badges, don't have police on their thing, anything, right? If you saw them dragging a kicking and screaming woman into a van, what would you do?
I'd be against
what
it.
What should you do?
You'd be against it. You tell them, hey, please stop.
Thank God.
If I knew that they were ICE,
you don't know that.
You don't. Yeah.
Okay. If I don't know that they're ICE, and there's no way that I could possibly find out that they are ICE, like taking a picture of the license plate, checking it against the
woman's gone by the time you do that. They're gone. They took her and she's gone. Right? You have moments to act. This is my reason I point this out is because most people not most maybe, but a larger group than not might take some shots. This is why my argument is saying that the way ICE is acting is putting ICE in danger.
Caldy with the big 5 says, how do you feel about the Nashville mayor panel releasing ICE info?
I don't know.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
They
I'm not familiar.
They published a list of local ICE agents, I do believe.
He's okay with that because that way you have all the information about the ICE person and everything. It's okay to have all the information. It's got to be public information.
That's exactly why he did it.
Exactly. But yeah,
you're right.
Wick and these other guys, they don't care about having
identify themselves, never show their
information out
face,
there.
never show a badge,
Swatted.
license plate. They should just walk around in
believe we
militarized
should have
clothes and
secret
kidnap
police
people.
in America.
That's the.
I'm going to make that brave stance. I don't think America should have a secret police force.
Seconded.
I don't know,
Thirded.
Wick.
Yeah, of course not.
We do have a secret WIC force out there, but that's different. Okay.
That's right.
We
serve honorably.
I mean, even the undercover, I can't even talk. Even undercover cops, once the takedown is happening, all the badges come out.
Yeah.
You know, that's
not with ICE.
Now, are they?
I wonder if there's got to be some kind of reason behind it, right? Like you don't just go like undercover. And I mean, I even know that Baltimore police, like they can't even do undercover necessarily anymore because somebody, a cop did get hurt that way. He was undercover. And before he could identify himself during like a raid, like there was a miscommunication error. And they happened to end up, like hurting someone that was not supposed to be on that side of the bullet. So it is dangerous. There's a lot of risk to it. You scare the people around you. You risk misidentifying. You risk the idea of posers out there, all of those things. But is the good greater than the bad? Is there an outweighed system in there in place somehow, or things to that nature? I don't think releasing personal information, especially if it's directly targeted, I don't think that's very wise. I mean, they don't send out lists of people who were going after, do they?
I'm not asking that they give their like home address. I'm asking that they have something on them where they can be linked back if, again, they do something wrong and someone wants to report them for misconduct, that they can be linked back to their authorities. And if it is found that they have done something wrong, be held accountable. A badge number, some kind of identification card, I don't know, right? But something. Right now they have nothing.
Is the law right now, do you know if the law says they have to be identified or they're allowed to act in this manner? Does anybody know?
I believe they're breaking the law that they shouldn't be able to act in that manner, not that they have any legal imperative to.
And Hector says legal consequences, they're getting doxxed. If they're not real agents, then they should face consequences. Mass invasion under Biden resulted in mass deportations. Blame the Democrats.
It's always blame the Democrats. What is this failure to take accountability for one's own actions? Where is this failure to own your mistakes? Why is it that I cannot get conservatives to admit that when you make a mistake, you should fix it and not pass the buck? Whatever happened to people who saying, you know what, I'm in charge, I have responsibility. If something goes wrong, it's on my head. And this basic integrity, valor, and valiance that I think all leadership has failed at, but especially MAGA.
We got to be more like Jake Tapper, don't we, guys? We got to be more like Jake Tapper. We ignored something for 4 years and then all of a sudden decided to write a book about something. Yeah, we got to be more like Jake Tapper.
We should be holding Donald Trump to the same standard as Jake Tapper. Thank God.
Yeah,
but the Democrats
so
don't.
I'm just gonna,
still going to say, Jake Tapper, thank you for your book. We didn't know that Biden was a senile old man for 4 years. Thank you for informing us.
I mean,
Same
frankly,
talking
even
points.
even Biden's like worst debate performance ever. If you actually look at the transcript of that conversation and ignore like the tone of and like the performance itself, like Biden was the only one on that stage actually engaging with the questions. He was the only one giving real answers and actually like responding to what was going on and describing real foreign policy, real national policy as well. And Trump was just absolutely embarrassing as usual and not speaking.
We destroyed Medicare. We destroyed Medicare.
Not in reality. But people just heard Biden like make a gaffe about like stopping Medicare or whatever, and that's like the only thing people remember from that.
Transcript. We can stop Medicare.
Also, the job of the president is to uphold the Constitution. I don't care what a bad debate performance looked like. Donald Trump is not upholding the Constitution. He said he wants to terminate it. Okay, there's one very simple job of the president, and it's not what Trump is doing.
Because I realize it's also
go ahead. Kokomo says, thanks, Sarah. I enjoyed this debate / discussion. It's been fun. And I just posted another debate coming up on July 5th. 2 new people to the show. We've got Geeky Stoic versus RTP Talks, and they will be having this exact discussion. Our Trump deportations, I think like good for doing more harm than good, something along those lines. But it's all about this very same conversation. And of course, that will go into open panel after the debate, but July 5th. So go hit that notification bell and set that one up if you really like this one.
I would like to.
Sorry,
I'm gonna go after this. I promise. I'm
Yep.
about to leave. Yeah. So, secondly, to plug in 2 days, I will be up here debating Rob Noor on a bunch of different Trump topics, which will be a lot of fun. And yeah, I just want to say that this panel tonight raised over $500 just off the chaos that my presence alone stirred up. And I think that I think that speaks highly of me personally, and I think it also speaks that highly of Wick and the topic that he brought to the table tonight. But just to be clear, Trump's ICE is not just detaining people indefinitely for civil violations or deporting them without hearings. They're doing it while hiding their identities because they know that just following orders isn't going to save them when the legal hammer drops. They're using wartime laws to bypass the Constitution, surveilling political speech, and deporting people to countries they've never lived in, all while shredding due process and hoping that no one notices. But guess what, bitches? We noticed. I'm Ryan. This is Umbreon. Have a good night, everyone.
The GOAT.
Good night.
Fizz in my cup, swimming good love. It was you at the club, missed your touch. Go again, baby, what's up? Nothing feels right, so let's mess up everything.